What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are continuing our playthrough of Dracula Curse of the Vampire by Jonathan Green. In the previous part we did quite a lot in the castle. We took on the brides and eventually we escaped the castle, I believe, and we made our way to Mina, and we are now married.
I think we got married.
I think we got married. We're up to that part anyway, so I think, well, I'm not sure if we're continuing as Jonathan or what's happening, so I guess we better just start from the page we've got written down and see where we are. So let's get on with it.
I'm pretty sure we're still Jonathan. Page 44.
We did read like a journal, didn't we, as a Mina, but or was that to Mina?
I think it was from Mina. It is September before you return to England, but when you set foot on English soil again, it is as a married couple. Oh, so we haven't got married, but we're married now, maybe.
Yeah.
You've never felt happier despite all you've been through. As a wedding gift, the sisters of St. Joseph and Ste Mary gave you each a phial of holy water.
Ste Mary.
What was that?
I think it's supposed to say Saint, but it says S-T-E. Like Steve.
Yes. It does actually say S-T-E. St. Joseph and St. Mary gave you each a phial of holy water. Add the holy water to your
Nice. So...
When you arrive in Exeter, you find a carriage waiting for you, and in it, although he has not been well himself, Mr. Hawkins. Who's Mr. Hawkins?
I don't remember.
The estate agent man.
Yeah, I think it's our boss. Holy war.
He takes you to his house where comfortable rooms have been readied for you, and that evening you dine together. After dinner, Mr. Hawkins raises his glass, saying, "My dears, I want to drink to your health and prosperity, and may every blessing attend you both. I have known you both since you were children, and now I want you to make your home here with me. I have neither wife nor child, and in my will I have left you everything."
You want to live with him?
No, why? It is a very happy evening indeed. But the following morning makes you as sad as the previous evening made you happy, when poor Mr. Hawkins is found to have died unexpectedly during the night. In accordance with his will, together you inherit everything, the house, the business, and a fortune which to people of your modest upbringing is wealth beyond the dream of avarice. Mr. Hawkins also stipulated in his will that he wanted to be buried next to where his
Pretty
father
coincidental.
lies.
I don't think the police are gonna look too kindly upon
Bad,
us.
isn't it?
Welcome, move into my home. Oh, I'm
Whoops.
dead now. The house is yours.
He wanted to be buried next to where his father lies,
Rich.
interred in London. The service is very simple and very solemn. There are only yourselves and the servants in attendance, along with one or two of Mr. Hawkins' old friends from Exeter, his London agent, and a gentleman representing the Incorporated Law Society. The two of you stand together, hand in hand, and feel that your best and dearest friend is gone.
All we did was give him like
60.
one vial of poison last night. He's gone.
Where did we get that holy water? Oh, gift.
A gift from one of the Steve Mary.
Saint Mary.
After the funeral, you take the bus to Hyde Park Corner. From there, walk down Piccadilly, with you holding Mina by the arm, and then you see him. He appears far younger than the last time you saw him, but there can be no mistaking that aquiline nose and thick moustache, although he now looks more like the portrait of his ancestor that was hung over the fireplace in your quarters at Castle Dracula, and has acquired a pointed beard. "My God," you gasp, clutching your wife's arm so tightly that she gives a gasp of pain herself. "Whatever is the matter?" she says, wincing. But you cannot tear your eyes away. "Do you see who it is?" "No, dear," Mina replies, following your terrified, unblinking gaze. "I don't know him. Who is it?" "It is the man himself. It is the Count, but he has grown young. Add 2 points to your terror score, and then take a terror test. If you pass, turn to 103.
This is
So,
where we do.
not yet. Right, so terror 2,
Yeah. Take a terror test.
which is
We have to roll 4
higher.
and get...
higher than 17.
Yes.
Surely we're not going to die in the middle of the street for this. 4, 9, 10.
No, we can't do it!
6.
Oh, that's 16. Should we see what happens?
Yeah.
We
let's see.
fail.
Surely we won't die. Unless we get, like, entranced and he get run over by like a truck or something. Not a truck, like a wagon.
Do you want me to read it?
Mm-hmm.
In that moment, you realise that the living nightmare you were forced to endure whilst you guessed that Castle Dracula was real and not some hallucination brought on by the brain fever. It is evident that the fiend intends to press home his villainous plans. You are
Hey, Odium. All good.
Hey, Odium! You are the only one who knows the truth, and how can a mere mortal like you possibly hope to stand against his dark ambitions? That terrible knowledge saps the strength from your bones. Mina is so worried about you that she takes you to sit a while in the Green Park as waves of exhaustion suddenly overcome you and you briefly lose consciousness. Cheers to Odium.
Cheers, Odium.
Cheers, Odium.
Love your faces. Right. Have you kept the old page as well? Or?
No. 2 and 8.
This might be death still.
Oh.
You head home after the traumatic encounter, but more bad news awaits you when you return to Exeter in the form of a telegram. Telegram, Van Helsing, London, to Mr. and Mrs. Harker, Exeter, 22nd of September. You will be grieved to hear that Mrs. Westenra died 5 days ago, and that Lucy died the day before yesterday. They were both buried today. Oh, what a wealth of sorrow in a few words. Poor Mrs. Westenra. Poor Lucy, gone, never to return. If you wish to continue the story as Mina Harker turned the 242, if you want to continue with Jonathan Harker turned the 329.
Let's stick as Jonathan.
Yeah, he's just chilling for a bit now.
Yeah, familiar story indeed.
Yes. Although if we've just continued the story as Jonathan Harker, like, we've never actually been introduced to Miss Westerner or Lucy. But it probably does flow better if you read it as a full thing, but...
You don't know if he's not been introduced.
No, Jonathan has, but we haven't.
Oh, right, yeah. I thought never... Oh, we're in a journal. We can get... Oh, we can't because we've already got full endurance.
We can press the typewriter anyway.
Jonathan Harker's journal, 26th of September. I thought never to write in this diary again, but the time has come.
There is an argument for continuing as someone who hasn't racked up a whole bunch of terror points.
Yeah, there is. Well, I think we probably... Oh, we'll probably do that next playthrough, won't we? Switch it up.
Maybe, depending. We'll probably play a Dracula playthrough first, and then maybe do a playthrough where we switch up the characters.
Yeah. Upon returning to Exeter, you find the demands of your new position as senior partner of the firm of Hawkins, Oldman and Lee preoccupy your mind so much that you've little time to think of anything else, least of all the deprivations you suffered during your time in Transylvania. You rise to the challenge that now presents itself, following your advancement, and manage to keep pace with all the duties that are now yours and yours alone. Coming home from work one evening in late September, you find Mina already has supper ready, and after you've eaten, she tells you that during the day she was interviewed by one Professor Van Helsing of Amsterdam, who has questions to ask her about Lucy Westenra's protracted illness. This is a long part. She in turn shared with him how anxious she has been about you, and even showed him the journal you kept while you were Dracula's guest. Incredibly, he confirmed that everything you had written within it to be true. Knowing that someone else believes you helps you put any lingering doubts regarding your own sanity from your mind, which makes a new man of you. Now that you know you're not insane, you no longer feel as afraid as you did, not even of the Count.
Mm-hmm.
You did. Oh. Deduct 1 point from your terror score.
Hey, 16.
I wondered why you had your finger on a button. I was like, what have you seen? Then restore your agility, combat, and endurance scores to their starting
What was our
levels.
combat? Was it 10? No.
10.
She got
10,
bit.
24, 9, and 7, but we don't need to change. Dracula has succeeded after all then in getting to London and has somehow become younger in the process, but how? It would seem that this Van Helsing is the man to unmask him and hunt him down, if he is anything as Mina describes. The following morning, you call at the hotel where the professor is staying and meet him for yourself. When you come into the room where he is and introduce yourself, he seems surprised. I didn't know he was from Amsterdam. Taking you by the shoulder and turning your face to the light, he says, "But Madam Mina told me you were ill and that you had a shock." I was ill, and I have had a shock, you reply, smiling. But you've cured me already. But how? Asks the kindly, strong-faced old man. I was in doubt and did not know what to trust, even the evidence of my own senses. Not knowing what to trust, I did not know what to do. Professor, you don't know what it is to doubt everything, even yourself. You will give me your hand, will you not, and let us be friends for all our lives. That's very forward. You shake hands, and Van Helsing is so earnest and so kind that it makes you feel quite emotional. And now, he says, may I ask for your help? I have a great task to complete. Does what you have to do concern the Count, you ask? It does, is his solemn response. Then I am with your heart and soul, you tell him.
I'm just reading it as Anthony Hopkins there.
Yeah. Van Helsing tells you that he must return to London, and so you see him to the station. As you're parting, he says, perhaps you will come to town if I send for you and bring Madam Mina too. We shall both come when you will, you tell him. Van Helsing is flicking through a copy of the Westminster Gazette while you are waiting for the train to depart, when something catches his eye, and his cheeks lose all their colour. As he reads the piece in question, quite intently he groans to himself, Mein Gott, so soon, so
that
soon.
Sounds German.
Yeah. Just then, the whistle blows and the train moves off. This shakes him from his reverie, and remembering himself, he leans out of the window and waves, calling, Love to Madam Mina, I shall write as soon as ever I can. Turn to 839.
Ooh. Did you ever see the Van Helsing series? I remember seeing it on like Netflix, and I remember some people saying it's good, but I don't know. I never had the urge to watch it. Was it cancelled after like 2 or 3 series? I guess Van suggests Dutch of Source. Maybe he's just teaching because he's like a what do you call it? Like a lecturer, isn't he? Maybe he just teaches in Amsterdam. 839. He likes a doobie. He's what's the word? He's pretty crazy in the film, isn't he? He's trying
Eccentric.
to eccentric. That's what I was looking for. He's like pumping the guy's leg, isn't he?
Was he?
Yeah.
I missed that part.
We were like laughing at it. He's got like the Carrie Elway's character. He starts pumping his leg while he's saying something. Before he goes out for it, he's like, we must fill our bellies and go for a meal.
Oh yeah.
That 5 season, I think, is pretty fun as I recall. Nice. I think the only thing I've seen like that is, Penny Dreadful. I quite like Penny Dreadful. Okay, this is another journal.
He is Dutch.
I was gonna screen them. So we start with the journal, which would gain us to our 24, but we're already at 24. 29th of September, Jonathan Harker's journal. When I received Mr. Billington's courteous message that he would give me any information in his power, I thought it best to go down to Whitby and make on the spot such inquiries as I wanted. It is only a matter of days before you hear from Professor Van Helsing again, asking you and Mina to travel to London to meet with Lucy's former suitors, who are also intent on putting an end to the Count's malicious schemes. But he also sets you the task of tracing that horrid cargo of Dracula's, the boxes of soil from his homeland that he had brought to England aboard the doomed Demeter, where it was delivered in London. Billington Jr. meets with you at the station and brings you to his father's house, where they have already decided that you must stay the night. They are hospitable, believing that one should give a guest everything and leave him free to do as he likes. Understanding that time is of the essence and your stay will be necessity, be sure Mr. Billington already has all the papers concerning the consignment of boxes ready for you in his office. Among them is one of the letters which you saw on the Count's table before you knew of his diabolical plans. It soon becomes evident that Dracula prepared for every obstacle which might be placed in the way of his intentions being carried out. Then you come upon an invoice that sets you on the path of uncovering the information that you came here seeking. 50 cases of common earth to be used for experimental purposes. So he's trying to build like a hunting ground of like vampires.
50 cases of his soil?
Yeah, unless he's trying to make 50 places for himself to sleep. He's probably more likely going to be converting people and having lots of vampire friends. There is also a copy of a letter sent to the company by the name of Carter Patterson, and their reply. This is all the information Mr. Billington can furnish you with, So you go down to the port and speak with the coast guards, the customs officers, and the harbour master. They all have something to say about the arrival of the Demeter on that dark and stormy night, but none of them can expand upon the simple description: 50 cases of common earth. You see the station master next, and he is able to put you in communication with the men who had actually received the boxes, but all they can tell you is that the boxes were mortal heavy, and that shifting them was dry work. Returning to London the next day, you arrive at King's Cross and from there travel to Carter Patterson's central office, where you are met with the utmost courtesy. They look up the transaction in their ledger, and by the end of the working day you have all the papers connected with the delivery of boxes to Carfax House in Purfleet, including a roughly drawn map of the property that shows 30 rooms in the main house, and the set of skeleton keys attached to the tag bearing the number 145. Record the map and the skeleton keys, along with the numbers associated with them, on your adventure sheet.
Do you want me to jot them down?
Yes. He is from Amsterdam, like me. Nice.
House map and skeleton key 145.
Yes. 30 rooms in the house as well. That evening, as you take a cab from Purfleet Station to Carfax Asylum, where you are to be reunited with your wife Mina and Professor Van Helsing, you're certain of one thing: that all the boxes that arrived at Whitby from Varna in the hold of the Demeter were safely deposited in the old chapel at Carfax. There should be 50 of them there, unless they have since been removed. Tick off the code word
Good luck.
Quinagwangita and turn to 592.
How do you spell it?
Quinq
Yeah.
Uaginta.
Can you use it in a sentence?
No. 592.
592.
I remember Penny Dreadful, another good one. Yeah, it was pretty good. It was like a mixture of like all Universal monsters in one.
What's with all these long parts?
It's a novel.
This is a very long one. We've got this picture to start with. All the boys. 2 hours after supper, 6 of you gather in Dr. Seward's study and take your places around the table. Like some impromptu committee, Professor Van Helsing takes the head of the table and makes the necessary introductions. My friends, in recent days we have all witnessed terrible things and have seen evidence of a corrupting evil working within the world. But I believe that we 6 have a chance to put an end to it, for we are uniquely blessed that our band has many skills that will help us to overcome our enemy and thwart his dastardly plans for conquest. We have Mr. Harker, who not only survived the horrors he encountered within the monster's lair, but had the courage to escape its confines, and whose solicitor's eye for detail has only increased our knowledge, and thereby the likely success of our scheme since returning to England. And we have Mrs. Harker, who has also witnessed firsthand the powers the Blackguard can command, and whose scrupulous secretarial skills...
The original Avengers, yeah.
that we have as a complete record of the monster's actions to date as it is possible to have. Thanks to Lord Godalming's considerable resources, we need not want for anything in our fight against this foreign invader. Be it bullets or train tickets, he has kindly said that he will cover all costs. And along with Arthur's generosity, we have Mr. Quincy Morris's courage and redoubtable combat skills. With this brave Texan in our midst, we shall take the fight to the enemy and win. Then there is my friend Dr. John Seward, whose medical knowledge rivals my own, and whose insights into the workings of the mind are even greater. Fortuitously, is that how you say it?
Fortuitously?
Or is it the hand of fate aiding us in our endeavour? His study of a patient in his care, a certain Mr. Renfield, himself formerly an employee of Hawkins, Oldman and Lee in Exeter, has helped us learn where we must begin the hunt for the fiend. Where is Renfield?
He's still in Carfax Abbey, I think.
Have we even seen him yet?
No, we haven't. He'd be in Dr. Seward's one. So, the woman is good at typing.
Yeah, good at making notes. But before we do, I must tell you something of the kind of enemy we now face, for you must understand that there are such things as vampires, and there is much evidence that they exist.
They only exist in books and films.
I admit that at first I myself was a skeptic, and alas, had I known from the outset what I now know to be true, the life of dear Miss Westenra might have been saved. But sadly she is gone, and so we must work to ensure the other poor souls perish not, whilst we can save them. The Nosferatu do not die like the bee when he stings but once. He is stronger, and being stronger has more power to do evil. This vampire which we now seek to destroy has the strength of 20 men. He has grown cunning through the ages, and through the power of necromancy the dead at his to command. He is the devil himself, able to bend the elements to his will, the storm, the fog, the thunder, and he can command the meaner forms of life, the rat, the bat, the moth, and the wolf. He can even make himself invisible. How then are we to begin our crusade to put an end to him? How shall we find where he's hiding, and having found it, how shall we put an end to him? My friends, it is a terrible task that we are about to undertake, and there may be consequences that would make a brave man shudder. But if we fail in our task, he will surely win.
Yeah, I don't think Jonathan even... Well, I've not read the book, obviously. I don't think Jonathan even meets Renfield, so... So we got Quincy, we got Seward, we got Van Helsing. Was there mention of Lucy's husband as well?
Is that not the Lord of Godalming?
Oh, yeah.
He's the one paying for it all, isn't he?
Okay.
And to fail here is not merely a matter of life or death. It is that we become as he is, foul things of the night without compassion or conscience, preying on the bodies and the souls of those we love best. The gates of heaven shut to us forever, abhorred by all, a blot on the face of God's creation. It is our duty to face him and destroy him, and who would shrink from such a duty? What say you? Are you with me? Everyone replies raucously in the affirmation. You all agree wholeheartedly not to rest until the monster has been vanquished, and so you all join hands and your solemn pact is made. And now, says Van Helsing, let us share all we have learnt about the monster we face. And he proceeds to go around the table, asking each of you in turn to share with the rest what I've personally experienced, witnessed, and discovered. Oh, here we go. How many of the following code words do you have ticked off?
Okay, I'll hold this.
Right, you read him out.
Which 20 men, if we make them sick, does he get weaker? They're all 20 men, are all like Bane from Batman. So, these are the code words. Anthropopathy.
No.
Arachnophilia.
Nope.
Barbara Stella.
No.
Bogey.
Bogey's not one.
It is.
No.
Cadaver.
No.
Demeter.
No.
Desmontini.
No.
Epetiscus.
No.
Exanguation.
No.
Lunatic.
No.
Monomania.
No.
Psychopathia.
No.
Quintiquadraquanda.
Yeah, we got that one.
Sarcony.
No.
Sainta.
No.
Slave.
No.
Somnambulism.
No.
Strigoi.
Yes, we got Strigoi.
Turkep.
Yeah, we got Turkep.
Tukor.
Yeah.
Zoophagus.
No.
Right, how many is that then?
4.
4 to 6. 8, 8, 9. I suppose you pick up more when you play different characters. Okay, 4 to 6.
Oh.
8, 8, 9.
Oh, that's not going to be good enough.
Burp. Drink for burp. Is this going to be one of those Ian Livingstone endings where we have to have all the code words?
I know, that's what I'm worried about.
Surely not, because it should give you the opportunity to play as different characters.
8, 8, 9. It does not take you long to share what you know, as between you have not actually learnt very much. You hope that the professor has learnt more than you during his sojourn to Amsterdam. Gain 2 blood points.
Oh, what's he on now?
Not a lot. He's on 3 now.
Oh, okay.
2 blood points, 10 to 9, 7, 8.
Is it a fizzy drink?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like is it cherryade or cherry soda.
Cherryade. No, but
You probably burp at least twice every stream. When everyone else has had the chance to speak, Arthur rises from his seat at the table. Professor, you mentioned that the monster has grown cunning through the ages. Not years, ages. The vampire cannot die by the mere passing of time and flourishes on the blood of the living, Van Helsing explains. And having feasted, he can grow even younger, but he cannot flourish without this diet. Even Jonathan, who lived with him for weeks, never saw him eat. He casts no shadow, makes no reflection in a mirror. He can change his shape, and he can come in the form of mist, and he can see in the dark. He can do all of these things, and yet he is not free to come and go as he pleases. He may not enter anywhere unless he has been invited in. His power ceases with the coming of the day, at which time he must return to his hiding place within unhallowed ground, such as the grave of a suicide.
What was that?
His power ceases with the coming of the day, at which time he must return to his hiding place within an unhallowed ground, such as the grave of a suicide. It is also said that he cannot pass over running water. Then there are things which can harm him, including garlic, holy artifacts, the crucifix, the host. There are others too. A branch of wild rose on his coffin will keep him from leaving it. A sacred bullet fired into the coffin will kill him truly dead, as will a stake driven through his heart. So we've got like a lot of options here.
Yeah.
And his heart and having his head cut off. If we can find where the monster is hiding, we can confine him to his coffin and destroy him. If we obey what we know, but we must be watchful and wary, for he is clever. For a moment, the only sound in the room is the ticking of the clock on the mantelpiece. So who was this Count Dracula when he was but a mortal man? Asks Arthur. I asked my friend Arminius of Budapest University to find out the answer to this very question. Scouring all the ancient chronicles and documents that are available to him, and he is certain that he was once Voivode Dracula, who won the title of warlord fighting against the Turks at the very frontier of the Ottoman Empire on the borders of Wallachia. Even then he was no common man, for at the time of his reign and for centuries after, he was spoken of as the cleverest and most cunning, as well as the bravest of the sons of the land beyond the forest. That mighty intellect and iron resolution went with him to his grave and are even now arrayed against us. The Draculas were a great and noble race, although there were rumours that certain scions had dealings with the devil. They learned their secrets in the Scholomance, a school of black magic hidden among the mountains. In one manuscript, this very Dracula is spoken of as a vampire, a name we all recognise too well. And now we must decide upon our course of action. Picking up the chronological account that comprises the contents of 3 diaries, as well as the telegrams, letters and newspaper clippings, he says, we have here much data and we must proceed to plan our campaign. We know from the inquiry of Jonathan that from the castle to Whitby came 50 boxes of earth, all of which were delivered to Carfax. It seems to me that our first step should be to ascertain whether they remain in the grounds of Carfax House or whether they have been removed. Take an ESP test. If you pass the test, turn to 4 or 8.
We need to roll 2 and get less than 8.
The Dread of the Turks, Vlad Dracula. Need to get, what do you need to get?
Less than 8, I think.
2 dice.
8 or less. Is it 8 or less?
Yes.
Yay!
If you pass, turn to 4 or 8.
You burped.
I did.
Professor Van Helsing's words fade into the background as your subconscious seeks to tell you something, and you find your attention wandering to the window. The curtains have not yet been drawn, and you can see something there, a dark shape scratching at the glass, clinging to the windowsill. There's something at the window, you cry, interrupting the professor, but then it is gone. Quincy Morris jumps to his feet and rushes out of the room, whilst Arthur flies to the window and throws up the sash. You shouldn't do that, because it lets it in.
Does it?
If you open the window...
Is he not just opening the curtain?
Oh, is that the curtain? What's the sash?
Is that the thing that is around the curtain? Love this book. Yeah, it's awesome so far.
Yeah,
Well,
it's really good.
like this one or Dracula.
From outside the house comes...
Hey, Kernwa.
Hey, Koa! From outside the house comes the sound of a pistol shot, and a moment later you hear Quincy call to the rest of you, still in the study. It was a bat, and a big brute too. Did you hit it? Asks Van Helsing. I don't know, comes Quincy's reply, but I fancy not. It flew away into the wood. Deduct 1 blood point?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's back down to 2.
Even if they open the window, if it was Dracula, it's still been invited inside.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
even if it's a bat, you have to say.
It must be
hey,
a verbal
you can come
confirmation.
in. Hey. You can come in.
What up, bro?
Step up. 427. So Dracula is now at 2 blood points,
Nice.
which I think is pretty low. You can't go minus, can you?
I don't think so. I would imagine so at least. Or at least if he asks to come in and you open the window, I suppose that's acknowledging. There is no time to lose, urges the professor. We must find those boxes, and if we encounter our enemy, we must kill this monster in his lair. But if he eludes us, we must nonetheless sterilize the earth they contain, so that he can never again seek shelter within them. And if any have been removed, we must trace their whereabouts. If you wish to continue the story as Jonathan Harker turned to 4, so we can either change to Mina or Dr. Seward, but we're going to continue with Jonathan, page 4.
Oh, Jonathan, we can't catch a break.
Oh, well, I feel like we might actually finish Jonathan's story like pretty fast.
No. Surely not. Oh, that's a cool page.
Hey Steve, how you doing?
Hey, Steve. And now for you, Madam Mina, Van Helsing says, turning to your wife. This marks the end of your part in the proceedings until all is well. You're too precious to risk taking with us. We are men and are able to bear what must happen this night. But you must remain our star and our hope, and we shall act all the more freely knowing that you are not in danger. You feel greatly relieved upon hearing the professor's pronouncement, even though Mina appears less than happy with the situation, but she does not want her mere presence among the party to put the rest of you in harm's way. And though it is a bitter pill for her to swallow, she agrees to remain behind in your rooms at the asylum. Turn to 1-5 now. We are getting close to the end.
No mention of Jonathan Harker having grey hair though.
Stay behind, woman, and do. Lads.
Stay behind in the mental side.
Lads. I'd rather stay behind, to be.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going outside in the cold. Vampires.
Yeah. Under the cover of darkness, the 5 of you leave Carfax Asylum and help each other clamber over the boundary wall the hospital shares with Carfax House. Each of you is armed with a revolver and a large knife, but other enemies are more mundane. As Van Helsing puts it, and you all carry a small electric lamp fastened to your breast just in case. Record the revolver, large knife, and electrical lamp in the equipment box. I'm not gonna do that.
Why?
You wanna write it down?
You can't write.
Too many.
Oh,
Too many things.
man.
Literally,
Where's the love?
it will take me. I can do it after. It will take me literally.
What have we got?
Revolver,
Yes.
large knife,
A large knife.
electric lamp. Typing that out will literally take me about 15 minutes.
Electric lamp.
Yeah.
To our breast.
Yeah, power bank. Taking care to keep the shadows cast by the tree that grow close to the wall, you discuss where to look for the boxes of earth. What do you want to suggest? Search the grounds first, turn to 142, or head to the house straight away? Search the ground.
Yes, search the ground.
Okay, 142, and I'll add these items on.
I don't think they do this in the film.
No. They probably went straight to the house in the film. Right, so we have.
Oh no.
Revolver. Spelled wrong. That's another 10 seconds. You can read it.
Van Helsing agrees that it might be wise not to assume that the boxes have been stored in the house, and so the 5 of you split up to search the grounds, each of you promising to give a whistle if you find anything. You head north to where an ancient apple orchard has grown into a copse of tangled lichen-bark trees. Hearing a sound like the flapping of laundry on a line has you looking up towards, and there, silhouetted against the moon, you see dozens of leathery winged bats descending from out the night sky. Have you not got a bat sound?
I do have a bat sound.
Dozens of leathery winged bats descending from the night sky.
There's one, let me get the other 11.
Just cue him up. You stop.
I'm gonna break it.
You manage to remember to give a shrill whistle, and then the bats attack. If you want to use the penny's mightier special ability, and you still can turn to 127, if not turn to 1.
No, we're fine. I pity the fool who tries to suck my blood.
I pity the fool.
Streamer's gone back yet. I did actually press it a few times, so I don't know when that will end, but it's not actually too bad. It's pretty cool. Where were we?
104, but maybe keep your finger on the page in case we don't.
Which page were we on?
We should write it down.
Yeah.
Checkpoint.
Yeah.
Gonna do it anyway.
Flailing about with your knife, you defend yourself against the shrieking bat. In this battle, you have the initiative. A cauldron of bats.
Battle.
I don't know why I pressed that again, it's still on. Right, so we are having a battle. You want to hold this page?
Yes.
So we're going to be fighting, we're going to do it anyway.
We're gonna do it anyway.
So,
we're gonna do it anyway.
6
We're
and
gonna
8.
do it anyway.
6 and 8.
We don't have any cool weapons, do we?
No, just normal. My blood is 83 iron brew. I give the vampire diabetes. Yeah. You have to die in the process, though, Steve. Just bat them aside. Right. Okay. So, are we ready for it?
Yes.
Anything else to the fight?
No. If you manage... Oh, yes. Oh, no. If you manage to reduce the bat's endurance to 0, the surviving bats break from the fight and flee.
So we just fight.
It's an easy fight, then. Oh, you're using the wrong dice. You got to use the green one.
Okay, let's go.
Oh.
12.
17 for them.
They win.
Wait, 10, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15. Why are we fighting the women?
Hold on. I'll be bats in here somewhere. Yay!
Yay! We
That's the win. That's a win.
Oh. That's a very loud bat.
A big bat.
Yeah!
One more round to go.
Yeah,
15.
we win.
Yeah. Okay. What's next?
The bats fly off towards the shadowy silhouette of Carfax House, and you can't help wondering if they're going to report back on your presence. Gain 2 blood
What?
points.
We thought you'd lose him for killing
No,
his
because
bat.
they've gone to tell him. It is
I'm
then.
calling PTA.
It is then that the others arrive, summoned by your whistle, with no one having found any sign of the boxes having been stored anywhere else in the grounds. Okay, so that was a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
You all hasten to the house, turn to 47. You defeated a whole battalion.
Oh, good one, good one.
Bats are protected. Is that all bats though? Is it just certain bits?
It's the white one from Ace Ventura. 47. When you get to the porch, the professor opens his bag and takes out all manner of items which he lays on the steps, sorting them into 4 groups, evidently for each one of you. My friends, he says in a barely audible whisper, we are heading into terrible danger and we need to arm ourselves accordingly. Remember, our enemy has the strength of 20 men and we must guard ourselves from his touch. Keep this near to your heart. He says, giving each member of your party a small silver crucifix, and put these flowers around your neck. He hands each of you a wreath of withered garlic blossoms, and all of this, which we must not desecrate needlessly. This, a portion of sacred water, blessed during the Holy Eucharist, which he's put into envelopes and which he shares out amongst your brave band now.
Oh, sacred wafer.
Where's it say that? Oh, sacred wafer, okay.
I thought how was he putting water in it?
I know, yeah. Record silver crucifix, garlic garland, and sacred water on your equipment box. We must gain ingress to the house. If you have a set of skeleton keys, turn to the number stamp on the key they're attached to.
145.
So hold that. Let me write these
Make
things
sure we
down.
put it on our equipment.
Our equipment.
Equipment list.
We need to get Dracula's red cool armor. So, body of Christ. So, What do we have?
We have a silver crucifix. We already have that. Oh, we got golden one. Silver crucifix, garlic garland, and sacred wafer. And an animal biscuit.
We don't have that. Sacred
Animal biscuit.
wafer.
Yes.
And
wafer.
what was the other one?
Animal biscuit.
Garland, garlic.
Garlic garland. And a Yorkie.
I can't wait to see a new CPU actually helps us. Right, there we go. Sorted.
So we're going to the skeleton key page.
Garlic bread, yeah, he's giving us all a portion of garlic bread. It's like the British version of Lord of the Rings.
You try the skeleton keys one after another until you find one that fits the lock. After a little play back and forth, the bolt yields and shoots back with a rusty clang. Ancient hinges creaking, the door slowly opens. Turn to 301.
That was half of the door. A bit more.
The big door.
Now it's finally open.
301.
The professor is the first to step forward and enter the house. In manas tuas domine, he mutters across himself as he passes over the threshold. Once you're all inside, you close the door behind you and ignite your lamps. The whole place is thick with dust. The floor is seemingly inches deep with it. On a table in the hall you find a great bunch of keys with time-yellowed label on each. They've been used several times and there are several rents in the blanket of dust covering the table. If you have the map of Carfax Abbey, multiply the number of rooms within the house by 15 and turn to that section, which is the same as the final floor.
30 rooms times 15.
3 times 15 is
450.
Multiply the number of rooms by 15. Oh, so you just turn to that page.
I think so.
Ooh, cool page.
I didn't see it. Oh.
Guy eating his own turn. Yeah, I think that's
Is
right.
that right?
I think so. Just hold this page just in case. 450. Who farted? Immersion broke. The sound of a chicken farted every time.
That's how it sounds like, Tika.
No, that was all of the members of the group farting after eating the garlic bread on the doorstep. Learning
They're just
Dracula.
squeezing it out, keeping the window open. How fortunate it is for us, Mr. Harker, that you copied those plans of the house, says Van Helsing, as you unfold.
Oh no. He took one too many farts.
As you unfold the map you made of the mansion. Now which is the way to the chapel? You're not even listening.
I'm trying.
You lead the way and soon find yourself opposite a low arched oaken door, ribbed with iron bars.
Where are we?
We're
It
going
actually
through a
smelled
door.
of farts. I think West
No,
is
it's
fine. Ribbed with iron bands, 6 for 6. This is the spot, announces the professor in a half whisper as he opens the door. You're expecting some unpleasantness, but you doubt that any among your party ever expected to be confronted by such an odour as the one that assails you now from the neglected chapel. The sanctuary is small and close, and its long disuse has made the air stagnant and foul. There is an earthy smell which cuts through the fouler air, but as to the odour itself, you believe it to be composed of all the ills of mortality mixed with the pungent, acrid smell of blood. I think we need to go to the doctor. As if the very corruption itself has been corrupted.
That's what your farts smell like.
Sometimes. As if every breath exhaled by the monster you seek has clung to the place, intensifying in its loathsome foulness.
Oh my god, my abs.
Take an endurance test. If you pass the tests. Could that have better
What are we
been?
doing? What's...
Basically, I think we're trying to make it through the stench of the room by doing an endurance.
But what
test.
room is this? Just a room. What's endurance? Oh, we need to roll 4 dice for endurance.
Me and Joe. Could that have been better timing though, really?
That was good. Did you know that was coming?
No. So right, endurance is
22. We need to roll.
less than.
Yes, 4 dice and be less than 22.
That's less.
Yes, that's less.
So when it being, that's like Dracula.
What did we eat last night? Just
A potato waffle,
sorry,
Yorkshire
I'm getting
pudding,
veg.
and sausage. I feel like this section is supposed to be slightly less hilarious than it ended up being. Yeah. But that was, you couldn't write how that worked well, because we honestly, I didn't see any of that coming. It's just the way it was getting, the way they were describing it.
Yeah, it's a description.
As if every breath exhaled by the monster you seek had clung to the place, intensifying in loathsome foulness. If you pass the test, it's 644.
Van Helsing's farts.
Yeah, definitely. The author, I have terrible evils to reveal. It's all. That's what the mist is. Dracula turns into. 644. Here we go. We'll keep
It's
going.
still going on about it. I'm going to try and get through this. That In any other circumstance, such a stench would bring your enterprise to an end at once. But this is no ordinary situation, and the vital purpose that has brought you here gives you the strength to rise above merely physical considerations.
I don't know what happens if you fail the endurance test.
After the I want to go back and read
We haven't
it.
got it anymore.
After the involuntary drawing back at the first nauseous whiff, every member of your party presses on into the chapel. Turn to 707.
Inside the chapel, resting upon the packed earth floor, are dozens of bulky wooden crates, their lids nailed shut. The first thing we must do is count the boxes, says the professor. It does not take long to ascertain the number, and to the horror of you all, there are only 29 left out of the 50 that the Count has transported to England on board the Russian schooner. Take an ESP test. Maybe just write down 29.
29.
29 left. Take an ESP test. If you pass the test, turn a 331. So ESP is 2 dice.
I'm going to get less than 8.
8 or
Does
less.
that count?
Yeah, 8 or less. 331.
What?
No worries, Odium. Have a good evening. Thanks for stopping by.
Enjoy the rest of your day, Odium. 331. What's 331?
The night boys here better not spam all those caps. Don't worry.
You're watching.
We were reminded by John dropping big caps earlier, and I managed to turn the night bot off in time before he got banned. John has all the power now.
I'm assuming it's a 331. It doesn't have Yeah, it just doesn't have the start at the page. That's weird. Sensing the unease felt by another member of your party, you turn to see Arthur staring out the vaulted door of the chapel into the dark passage beyond. You follow his gaze, and for an instant your heart stands still, for you're convinced you can see highlights of an evil face, the ridge of the nose, the red eyes, the red lips, the awful pallor staring back at you from the shadows. It's only for a moment, and the illusion is dispelled as Lord Godalming says, "I thought I saw a face, but it was only the shadows," and then resumes his examination of the wooden crates. But you, not satisfied that it was only a trick of the light, or lack of it, boldly step into the passage just to be sure. There is no sign of anyone there, and as there are no corners, no doors, indeed no aperture of any kind, but only the solid walls of the passage, there could be no hiding place. Deciding that the impression of the face was the product of both your fear and your overactive imagination, you say nothing to the others and return to the chapel. Add 1 point
Nice.
to your ESP score. Oh,
Or
No, and 1 point to your terror score.
yeah.
Deduct 1 blood point. Can we add 1 to our ESP?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you added 1 to terror?
Yep.
And I need to take 1 blood point, so we're down to he's down to 3 blood points now. And then turn to 5, 6, 4.
And now, my friends, the professor addresses you. We have a duty to do. We must sterilize the earth that had brought from a distant land for such fell use. It is sacred to him because it is of his homeland, but we will sanctify it in God's name, purifying it and denying the evil one's sanctuary. As he speaks, he takes from his bag a screwdriver and a wrench and opens up one of the crates. The earth it contains is redolent with the odours of damp and mildew. Taking up tools, the rest of you prepare to follow the professor's example. Using your knife, you prise open one of the crates and immediately recoil in horror. You then see the dead fingers and the mottled pate of a head.
I don't know.
Of a head half buried within the soil. Your horror is only compounded when the fingers suddenly start to twitch and you stagger back in appalled disbelief. Before your very eyes, a hand emerges from the mouldering loam, followed by another, and together they heave the body buried within the box from the stinking earth. Its features are half rotted away, and its skin that is like old white leather is stretched over the bones of its ribcage. Take a terror test. So this is the artwork, and it's really cool.
It's alive.
It's like one of the coolest bits we've seen of art. It's like a rotted zombie vampire.
Oh, look at that form.
Super cool.
Stretching those calves.
It's pate like a bald head.
Pate.
Okay. Pate.
Not quite. Not yet.
Okay. Take a terror test.
Whoa, so we've got to get more than 17.
Yes. Got roll
Really?
a 1.
You roll them into the points.
Still got 3 again.
That's rubbish. Oh,
Got worse.
Can we re-roll? If we fail, we're probably gonna die. We could drink and re-roll. We haven't cheated on this book yet.
No. Let's see what happens if we fail. But if it's death, we'll do it again.
Okay.
We do need to add a death to the score. I want to see the red lights.
Oh, we just add 2 more terror points.
No, let's drink.
And re-roll.
Yeah.
Until we get over 17.
Yeah.
You just wanted a red light.
I did. There we go. It finally changed.
It was waiting for me to finish my sip.
Okay, so we need to get 17. 7.
Right. Okay, that's good stuff. There
11.
you go, there you go.
15. 16,
Yeah!
17. Life restored.
Did we technically die twice then? Oh, we didn't add a death.
Yeah, I won't gonna. But
Oh, okay, okay.
I'll add 1.
No, we didn't die technically. Yeah,
Back to life.
you probably would have done that if we hadn't cheated. Turn to 7, 8.
Technically. I just wanted the red light.
In Dracula's native Transylvania, they are called Strigoi.
Strigoi.
Restless souls that rise from the grave, often at the behest of a powerful necromancer. A maggot-eaten black tongue darts from between ragged lips, and the unliving horror hisses as it clambers out of the crate that has kept it confined these past 3 months. Add 1 to your terror score. You are only dimly aware that its venomous hiss is underscored by the horrified cries of your companions as other corpses start to break free of their wooden prisons. If you want to use the pen as my special ability, and you still can, we've still got 3 uses.
Should we use 1?
Let's use 1. We've got 3. Turn to 8, 6, 7. Oh, I just realised we got brandy as well.
Oh, to get on
We got
stand.
4 shots of brandy
Well,
left.
we've not even really used it, have we?
No.
Cross off one use of the penny's mighty special ability. Suddenly, the Texan is by your side, and you start as he discharges his Smith & Wesson next to your ear. The air is filled with pink mist and flying bone fragments as the corpses fall to the ground, missing its head.
Nice.
Turn to 914.
Texan.
Quincy. I don't know anything about that character because in the film he literally gets no backstory on anything, does he?
Doesn't need one, he's Texan. The chapel is suddenly awash with noise, the desperate cries of your compatriots, the crack of pistol shots, and the tearing of wood echoing from its vaulted roof as more strigoi break free of their confinement and attack your fellow vampire hunters. You throw yourself into the fray in an effort to aid them in their hour of need. You need to work out how many of the unleashed strigoi you and your companions managed to destroy. Take an agility test, a combat test, an endurance test, an ESP test, and a terror test. Then roll 1 dice. You may also choose to spend 1 use of the pen is mightier. Having done all these things, consult the list below to see how many points you've scored. Oh, okay, right.
Is it 1 point
So you
for
get
succeeding?
you get a point if you pass the agility test.
Yeah.
A point if you pass the combat. 2 if you pass the endurance.
Test all things, yeah.
Yeah, and then the dice roll is just is it odd or even.
Mhm.
And if we've used the pen is mightier special ability as well.
Right. Let's go down the line then, right?
What, Dean?
Okay, so
Doing all the things.
what's first?
The first thing is an agility test.
Which is
You have to get 9 or
2
less.
dice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
1 point. Get a tally going,
Yeah, 1. Next combat test.
which is 2.
We've got to get 10 or less.
There we go.
That's 1 point.
Mhm.
Endurance test.
That'll be 4, won't it?
4 dice, we have to get less than 22 or less.
Yes. 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got 2 points for that.
Mhm.
ESP test.
That's 9 now.
9 or lower. Oh!
4? No,
yeah.
5.
5. Terror test.
Oof.
4
least we don't-
dice.
At least we don't
18.
fail this. We just get a point if we win.
So we have to get more than 18, yeah.
Yeah, 9.
17.
Oh.
So it's only 1. And then roll a 1 dice.
Mhm.
If it's even, you get a point.
Oh well. And we still got a penny might. Yeah. Should we use penny's might? Yeah.
Should we?
Yeah, we got 1 more to use after this.
So
haven't we?
then that takes us up to 7.
So we got 1 left of penny's mighty skill
Yeah.
now. Okay.
Oh, we got 2 more. Do you have the Strigoi code
Yeah,
word?
pretty sure we do.
Yes, we do. So that's another point.
Mm.
That takes us to
Do
8.
you have pestis? I don't think we've got
No,
pestis.
we
do
haven't
we?
got this.
No. Once you've calculated your points, turn to 937.
So we got 8.
I don't think. The number of points you have scored is the total number of strigoi you have already dealt with, one way or another, by your brave band. Deduct this total from 20,
Oh, okay. So we got 12 left to kill.
then divide the remaining number by 4,
Yeah,
rounding the fractions up.
that's 3.
Why is that 3?
We divided 12 by 4. Is 3.
Oh, right, yeah. This is the total number of strigoi you personally still have to fight. Each of them has the following stats, and you must fight the remaining strigoi at the same time. In this battle, you have the initiative. So let's just fight them normally, one at a time.
Yeah, 3
So-
Strigoi.
6 and 6. Okay, so here we go. We have vampire. That's probably gonna have to do it, I think. Do we have? Yeah, we're gonna use this, and 6 and 6. So there's 3 of them, right? So we have to
Yes.
fight 3 of them.
We can do it.
Yeah.
Easy. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Number 1's dead.
Okay, Strigoi number 2.
Yes.
6 and 4.
Zed. Last one.
There's Strigoi number 3.
You only gave him 5 stamina. Yes. Oh, look at this. I'm not even looking. He's got our eyes shut, swinging away at him. Yep.
1 and 1.
Yeah!
All Strigoi taken care of.
If you manage to put down all of the undead, turn to 967.
Okay, right. We've beaten the Strigoi. We are approaching the end of our time limit here, so we are going to leave it here for now because this is a very long page that we're going to be going into. But yeah, we're going to leave it here. We have found our way into Carfax Abbey's castle grounds, and we've taken care of what, 12 vampires, is it? Or 8 vampires?
Some vampires.
We killed some Strigoi. We found most of the coffins. There's another like 30 something left, or 29 left, or something.
No, I think we've wiped them out.
No, there's
Oh,
no, there's still like another
yeah,
20.
there is.
We survived. Yeah, Karen was right. We did survive the gas chamber.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
It was lethal.
So
It
it
was
does feel like we're getting towards the end game of the plot line, but then again, we've still got to go to Transylvania, I guess. So there could still be a fair amount left, but we're making good progress, and this potentially could be the penultimate part. We could finish Jonathan's story in the next one, but we're not sure. But if we do, we could potentially go straight back in with another place, but we're unsure yet. We're going to see how it turns out in the next one. So thanks for watching, guys. Let us know your thoughts down below in the comment section on this playthrough so far. If you're not subscribed already, please do, and we will be back again with part 5 very soon.